So a lot of people have been asking, what's next for D Rose with his relationship with Adidas, and something that I think is very cool is that he was mainly the main athlete that we got to see in terms of the promotion for the brand new Fear of God shoe. So let's take a look at that shoe right now. All right, so here is the box for the shoes themselves. As you guys can see, it's a real kind of like different style look to a box. You have, the Adidas branding right there, Fear God on the box. You have the 3 stripes here on the top. Compared to like the first time they did a release of the Fear of God shoes, this way it's kind of set up is a little bit different from what I've seen from reviews. I never had a pair of the first ones, but easy way to make me buy something is have D Rose be the model athlete for it, and it was really cool to get to see that. So when I saw that, he was wearing the mid top ones. There's a mid and a high top that you can buy these in. They're both relatively the same looking, but of course one's a mid, one's a high. And so I haven't opened these up yet. These sold out on Adidas.com in the mid top colorway, and then I bought these through JD Sports or through Finish Line. And so now I'm going to take a look at them for the first time, so you guys can get my first reaction with these shoes. And the one thing I will say that I always kind of hate about ordering from like a store, at least like Finish Line, is from working there, I know for a fact that like if you get an order sent out from the store, they probably been tried on by somebody XYZ, which really that's not a huge deal. But in terms of how the like package of stuff comes, having the paper torn and stuff like that tells me everything I kind of need to know about how these shoes came to be in my position now. And man, but looking at the shoe, this is pretty cool looking. This is a beefier model. There's something like, this is a size 10, I will say. My first impression is holding this in hand, this shoe looks huge. And like I said, compared to like the packaging that they did for the very first pair, these are packaged like in a much different way than the other ones were. The other ones had a lot more like a premium look to them, but these, it's not a bad thing per se, but it's just a different type of setup for them that isn't as unique as that first collaboration was. I don't know if that would have been different if I bought these like from Adidas.com versus getting them from JD, but to say the least, that's just something I kind of noticed and picked up on. So when it comes to this shoe, like tech-wise, I know that this midsole on these is light strike. This upper is a premium suede, which does feel nice in hand. The design has a very like distinct look to it. The thing that I always think about when I see like the Fear of God shoes, and especially like these, is these give me big Yeezy vibes. Like these remind me of, I think, like the Yeezy basketball shoes, except I believe those use Boost. You have a big Adidas branding back here on the heel. You have Fear of God here as well too. Something that I did hope to see and hope that we will see at some point would be like a D Rose version of this shoe. Like, I feel like back here on the heel cup piece where you have that Adidas logo presents like a real good opportunity to put the D Rose logo right there, keep the Fear of God. Your outsole on these is like this like wavy, like type of like, it really looks like a herringbone type of pattern for it. Whether there's this black bar here. I know there's a torsional plate inside here as well too. And there is a Adidas custom like made TPU heel cup that you can feel back here at the back to keep your foot locked in. The insole in here, this isn't bad. This is kind of like what I expect from like Adidas basketball shoes now, pretty similar, part of the course for like their insoles. Okay, so I can be happy to report that these actually do feel like they fit true to size. In terms of like how my foot sits in the footbed, I don't feel like there's like a lot of like dead space, at least so far. And lengthwise, for certain, it's like right, like because my toes like kind of right up towards the front-ish, which is what my size 10 usually is like, and so that's good. And I think even like, let's say if I want to wear this like with a speed wrap or something, I could do that. And so these shoes, they definitely they give a much more premium vibe than some of the other like Adidas basketball shoes that you would see out on the market, mainly just because, again, like using this like really nice like suede material is one thing. This looks almost like a ballistic type of mesh setup, but also like you could almost give it like a you can almost like engineer mesh type of look to it to some degree. The tongue has a lot of perforation holes in it too, which I'll show you guys more like a close up as well. And the padding in the back of the heel is actually really nice too. So like those things I think really make a nice difference with it. But the midsole, like I said, is super chunky. When I was walking with them on feet, like the shoe isn't like super heavy though, but it is just a chunky shoe. Because you do kind of sit a little bit down in it, but not by much. Like you kind of really are sitting on this platform, which again, depending upon who you are, like you might like that, you might hate that. But I think it is kind of cool, interesting. This colorway is, is a much more subtle colorway too, so you can really pair this with a lot of stuff too. I think this shoe would work really well as a casual shoe, just because of this like really clean aesthetic and look to it that it has. When it comes to basketball, I really don't know how these would do. Okay, so guys, actually we're picking up and recording this video like, maybe like 4 or 5 hours later, because I wouldn't play basketball tonight. And when I played basketball tonight, I actually played a handful of games in the Fear of Gods. And these shoes, I will say from like my first quick like impressions, is that like they're not bad. It's not fantastic as far as I'm concerned currently, but it's not bad. The one thing that like I do notice on the shoes already is that like I either have a lot of people that like are stepping on my feet, or I have a lot of like toe drag sometimes depending upon what moves I'm doing. And so the suede on here, I like an idiot did not take photos and like close-up pictures before I left to go play basketball in these. So you will see in the photos that the suede is kind of frayed in places. And that's all from just a little bit of playing that I did in them, unfortunately. But that's kind of what happens with the shoe. But again, it's good to kind of see that and show that to you guys, because that's just kind of what's going to happen the more and more you were to play in these. Also, too, you can see like in the midsole itself, because now that I've worn them, you'll see all these creases that are in the midsole. And these creases there too are just where like I'm actually like breaking them in and stuff. Comfort wise, they're pretty decently comfortable, but the main thing that I thought about with them is they just feel like a really bulky shoe. Like I talk about in the video the fact that like they remind me a lot of the Adidas Crazy 8s, but actually the shoe that this reminds me of more than anything else is the Adidas Crazy 1s, or the Adidas the Kobe. And like I have one pair of those in like a Darth Vader colorway that came out back in, I think it was 2019. And those are a bulky shoe. I've played basketball in them like once or twice, but like it's a pretty bulky shoe. It's not bad, but it's bulky. And that's the same thing with this. It's like these aren't bad, but they're bulky. They're pretty decently breathable. In terms of like lockdown and fit, like I felt a little bit of like heel slippage. But I did find that, as I laced it up a little bit more and tightened it up, I kind of got a little bit better of a lockdown, especially if you go through and you use this tongue piece right here to thread your laces through as well. That kind of helps you get some better lockdown here in this area as well, to have it cinch around your foot a little bit better. But yeah, I'd have to play in them a lot more to really, say whether or not I think they're, really worth the while to hoop in. But to me, I will say, even just giving off like the premium materials that's on here, and this suede, I mean, I don't want to mess these up any more than I already have. And like, I have other hooping shoes I like playing in, where that's the AE1s, the D-Rose 4 Resto Mods, the Sunshine 3s, there's a whole AE1 lows. There's a whole lot of shoes out there that I do like really enjoy playing in. And so this shoe, I think, is something that I'm just gonna kind of rock casually and just enjoy as like, just kind of like a casual everyday shoe. Because I think from a fashion standpoint, these are really cool looking. It's a unique shoe. It does give me like, a little bit like the Yeezy type vibes. But like it is just a very like cool looking silhouette, I think. And again, man, like I said, these on feet, I think they look really clean. The high cut ones look good too. I kind of mentioned getting a pair of those, but like I said, I'd love to see like a D-Rose collab, man. I don't care if D-Rose, if they put a logo on, these mids, or they put on the highs. Either way, that'd be so dope to see. So hopefully that's in the working. And so yeah, but that being said, guys, I hope you have enjoyed my review, a look at it. Kind of just tune in for, maybe I'll either do a follow-up review where I actually like play in these a little bit more and see. But as of right now, I just don't think I'm going to. The traction too, I didn't talk about it, but the traction wasn't bad. If grip, I never felt like I had much slippage going on. But also, I will say, like, in terms of like some of the movements I made and stuff while I was playing in these, I didn't feel as used to it. But it's something I find interesting, that like, isn't always the case, but I find that certain shoes, when I play in them, I enjoy playing in them more because I feel more secure in them. So like with the AE1s or like the D-Rose 4s or even kind of like the Sunshine, well, the Sunshine 3s not so much because they're like a low top. There's like a mental barrier that I sometimes have in my mind where I think like, okay, it's low top, where I try to do all the same type of movements that I regularly do, but like there are times where like I know that like I don't have the extra padding at least that I get from a high top. Compared to like, you know, the low tops. It's like I don't do the move the exact same way, which again, it's a I had a card failure happen with my camera, so we're going to try to finish this off here real quick so it doesn't happen again, but we'll see. So yeah, let me guys know what you guys think down in the comments below. My camera's going to keep on doing this, so I'll have to figure that out and troubleshoot that later. But that being said, I do appreciate you all. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video with your friends, and, you know, stay tuned for some more stuff coming here soon before the end of the year. So until next time, guys, peace. Have a great rest of your day, and I appreciate you all a lot. Bye. Ah! No. That's how I feel when my camera keeps on having the card fail. Because when the card fails, it sucks. But it's still recording right now, so isn't that something? It's still recording this part. Yeah, you know, it's still doing it. It's still doing it. Look at it. Fear of God 2s. Hey.